Greetings, mortals. I am SpeedRunner Fuchs-Wulf of SonicMutou, and I wanted to explain what happened, why I was gone, and why I went on a hiatus that I didn't think would take so long. So, to give you a rundown of what's going to be covered, I'm going to cover what happened, what this means for the channel going forward, and what I would like you as a viewer to do. The third part isn't going to be required, but it's greatly appreciated. And you'll see why shortly. Now, first off, what happened? What happened was that I had a problem with my computer. I had gotten a new monitor and decided I'd put that and hook it up to my laptop. So I needed an HDMI to VGA cable, plugged it in. Laptop is sending signal every other second from the HDMI, which means it doesn't register that there is something plugged into it. So it's essentially a lost conclusion. So it's kind of pointless to really try at that point. Another issue that I had encountered was that the USB ports, all three, all on the same side, were a little loose. So I just went, okay, let's take it into Best Buy, get it fixed. My dad had a subscription, so I took opportunities for that. I'm not completely angry at Best Buy. I'm more angry at whoever in Kentucky they shipped my laptop to for repairs. And you'll see why shortly. The whole thing was that they told me they don't do hardware repairs in person. So I went, okay, that's fine. What will happen? They said they'll ship it off and get somebody else to do it, like ship it somewhere to do it. And from all I heard was that they got it shipped to somewhere in Kentucky after I, of course, said yes to sending it off. And I was just kind of like, okay, it'll probably take a couple weeks plus shipping for everything. And then it became very interesting. The first bit of news I got back was that the HDMI ports and the USB ports were hardwired to the motherboard. So they had to replace the motherboard. Which to me sounds fine. Everything goes fine. And then I get my laptop back. Now, on the keyboard side of the laptop, I had a sticker saying it had something NVIDIA related, as well as um, something saying it had an i7. Two little stickers, as well as one that was bought in my hometown in California, where I was born, and another of a Parasaur skull. The Parasaur skull got discontinued, and I didn't realize it until I went to replace it, because neither it, the sticker from my hometown, or the stickers that came with the laptop stating what was in it were there on that side of the laptop. It's as if they replaced the entire panel. Which bugged me, but in the end, it's a simple, I'll find some way to replace it somehow. And while it bugs me that the Parasaur skull sticker can't be easily replaced, I've since made a replica of the design and we'll just have to find a place to make a sticker for me. But long and the short, that was the small issue. The next problem I encountered was one they had mentioned in a message saying they had trouble getting the thing to power on, or like take charge or something, and assumed the battery was bad. I got it home and had the issue that was the case. Nope. The USB, actually the power port, was loose because I plugged the cable in and was able to give it a good hearty shake. So I went back to Best Buy, went, hey, please take a look at this. Showed the lady, shook it. She put it in and it wiggled the cable and went, that's not right, and then sent it back to probably the same people in Kentucky. That happened about like a day or two after I got it back, which was at first an issue. One would have figured when they encountered the problem at the store, they would have, like, wherever they sent it to in Kentucky, the Kentuckians or whoever touched it last would have fixed it. But no. Because I found out at about 1 in the morning when the thing wasn't taking a charge. My theory is that somebody found a cable that was sort of right. I want you to imagine a can in a can. That is kind of how the power port looks on this laptop, this Asus ROG Strix, which should help give a little idea. If any of you are groaning and going, oh, that's a bad laptop, then you'll find out problems later as things continue. So, it's a can within a can kind of design, but somebody had found a cable that went inside the big can but didn't go around the small can inside. Probably, that's the theory I have. And when they shoved it in to make it fit, it dislodged the power port and proceeded to break it, and nobody wanted to probably fess up or something. I mean, I'd be nervous, but I'd have fessed up and said I did an accident and broke somebody's machine. But what can you do? So I sent it back on October 10th. I didn't get the laptop back until after Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, which meant the 4th Thursday in November. I didn't get it till after. And it didn't come home with the power cable that I sent it with. The official original Asus power cable it went with. And they told me the battery wasn't doing too great and was no longer taking a charge. But it was registering on the computer so it could charge from the power cable. So, this was after getting very angry. Both my dad, myself, and one of my dearest friends had basically gotten furious at the whole situation. I wanted to talk to whoever in Kentucky touched my computer and give them a piece of my mind and tell them that they owe me for the entirety of it, and I don't want to pay a penny. But I never got around to doing that, probably because it was for the best that I don't get angry at somebody who probably didn't know better and was probably not paid enough to care. I fixed the problems that the person reported were happening, therefore I don't need to worry about the other issues I may or may not have caused, kind of deal. So, once I got my laptop back, I essentially had to wait for any sign of my original cable. Essentially, at this point, I'm assuming they aren't caring enough to go find the original cable, but Best Buy footed the bill for an official replacement. This was after a bit of a debacle trying to get an adapter for the temporary replacement cable they gave me, which ended up not fitting, which is why I had the theory that somebody put a cable that was too small into the laptop from the get-go and just shoved it in, and then it broke. So once I had this issue, I just kind of went, I'm going to send it to a local guy, see what they say. The local guy opened up the laptop. Mind you, it's missing 6 screws, and found out that the battery wasn't even plugged in. This tiny little ribbon cable, probably a centimeter or so in length, wasn't even plugged into the motherboard. The thing that even I, somebody who has never worked on a computer in my life, would have probably thought to do. Albeit, I would have done so with tweezers. Instead of the guy who basically nudged the cable, just cable's little plastic part, right back into its little plug socket bit with like a screwdriver. Just mildly tapped it and went back into place. So it turned out to work until the power port proceeded to have the same HDMI issues. Mind you, this was all after I had the gloriousness that is getting my laptop back after Thanksgiving and coming to the shock of what looked like a practically wiped clean computer with a few random icons and no access to my files. And had the panic of what happened to my machine. Somebody ransacked it, and now I can't get anything back. But yet it still shows that I have Final Fantasy XIV installed, among other things. It's like had the recycle bin, Chrome, and 15 other things. But after turning it off and turning it back on again, it proceeded to act like nothing ever happened. But the local guy, fast forward to local guy, he essentially told me that not only was this laptop prone to getting super hot, I don't want it to, honestly. It could get hot enough that it could melt the solder holding some parts together. This is the laptop I've played VR on. This is a laptop I should be concerned about at this point. It's a 4-year-old laptop. I got it as a graduation gift in 2019. So this laptop is somehow still chugging at this point, after I've since taken it home and had an official replacement cable shoved in and given tension, because it still won't register the cable sometimes. But local guy said my motherboard is essentially fried, and there's not much to do for it. So, while that happened, I got myself a Ko-Fi page. Why? Because I don't have the cash to buy myself a laptop. Or a new computer in general. Because I need something comparable to this machine, which has an i7 in it, that can run, and that will be able to run VR content without me lagging and having issues. Which means I need a heck ton of VRAM. And for those of you who aren't tech savvy, VRAM is video RAM. And VR chat is essentially one of the worst games for VRAM because it will eat your VRAM like candy at a never-ending buffet. It will just consume copious amounts of VRAM. This doesn't help with anything else I do, and it's probably better with things like Final Fantasy XIV and making avatars on VR chat in Unity. But this laptop is essentially on its last legs and is somehow still kicking, and I don't want it to find out the moment it just decides to say I hate you. So, I did 2 things. Got a Ko-Fi and a little donation page option for a new computer. That's because I need something comparable, and have found the thing that has 24 gigs of VRAM is a 3090. And if any of you know what a 3090 is, it's not cheap, but I'm looking for a desktop at this point. If you want to support me, I will link in the description my Ko-Fi page, but I am not requiring you to do so. You can give a one-time payment. You could subscribe to the tip jar tier and give me 50 cents a month. Forever. It's up to you what you want to do. But any of the membership tiers will get you bonuses in my Discord server, such as private channels to talk in, discounts, and shoutouts. Though the one thing about shoutouts, once 10 people are subscribed to a role, that'll basically be the highest, I will say, individual names. 11 or more will be when I just say the entire. And thank you to everybody at the who are blah blah blah, which is the short form of whatever tier it is. Simply because it'd be too long at that point for a lot of videos. To cover like all, I think, 12 tiers I have. 11 that are doing it. Tip jar tier, since it's 50 cents a month, just gets a fancy role in my server. If you want to join the Discord server, that'll also be linked in the description. But as things stand, I need a new computer, and I'm going to be looking for jobs and trying to get commissions done while this laptop is still chugging. My parents are kind enough to help me get a computer. But I need a comparable machine to what I have, with as much VRAM as I can shove it in within reason. That isn't going to put me in a hole in the ground. So I need an i7 or a Ryzen 7. I did a little research to find Ryzen 7 is comparable to an i7. I just need an i7 or better. and something that can get me at least more than enough VRAM to run VR chat comfortably. Because I don't do cabled directly to the laptop VR chat. I do virtual desktop, which in itself probably eats some VRAM. So I need enough to run virtual desktop and VR chat at the same time for my computer to be able to handle the content necessary. So, you don't have to pay anything. You can just do a one-time payment. You can just buy me an Ishgardian tea for like $1. I'm not gonna force you. But what the big ticket thing I want you all to do is, I want you all to subscribe. Why? Because if I get 1,000 subscribers, I can monetize the YouTube channel, which means I can replace the computer quicker, or at least have enough money for, say, I need to do this a second time, can get a new computer mouse, and essentially fund my general existence, since things like gas and food has been going up in the US. I am not going to cover any more politics than that, but just understand living in the US is painful in terms of monetary value. So if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, comment, and or just share my content somewhere, I will appreciate it, because I need engagement on my content. So YouTube understands that my content is worth promoting to other people, because I have about $1 to my name. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel and help me make sure that I can actually get money to buy a better computer or better games, better software. Maybe someday I can get some sort of capture card, and we can take a look at what the what the N64 I have has, or what the Wii U's got. The Wii's got some good games on it. I could probably screw around on that if I had the software and hardware to do so. But I'm not going to require anybody to do anything. All I'm going to require is a simple subscribe. That's it. Just 1,000 subscribers. I will do my best to push my content in other platforms, but you can subscribe to me there. You can tip me somewhere. Support in any format is greatly appreciated, and your support will help me make more things for the channel. So what does it mean with this channel going forward? I'm going to try and continue the content. Next week I'm going to be off because Christmas. I'm going to then get back into my commissions. I have 3 to do. 1 was because somebody gifted me a model. If you gift me a model, and you show proof of purchase that you own a model, I will make you a free avatar with the model, just because. It's what I think is fair. If you want something quick and simple, but you want to support me, you can just get an artistic liberty commission. But as of right now, I'm mainly doing like small things, stuff that'll like be really quick. Or if you want, on my Ko-Fi page and my Gumroad, I think on my Gumroad, at least on my Etsy, I have a front-facing Protogen head. I will link my Gumroad, Ko-Fi, and Etsy in the description, as well as the YouTube, as well as the Discord server. So if you're interested in checking that out, you can. But the front-facing Protogen head is cheap. I made it in Adobe Illustrator myself, based off of an avatar I own, at least the face model, the face shape at least. And if you buy that, I will appreciate it, because any cash you put through to me is going to basically help keep me sustained and keep the channel going. Another thing I want to mention is that I hope to do a series on how to create VR chat avatars, and it'll be complete from scratch. But I want to do it in the style of old PBS shows. If you don't know what PBS is, it's Public Broadcasting Station. It's a thing in America. And one of the things I remember from my childhood watching shows on there was that the children's shows, at the very least, would end with a thing called, "And viewers like you, thank you." And I want to do something of that similar vibe, so I'm working on trying to find a name. So if you have any suggestions, I would appreciate it. But the plan is to run through everything with the latest version of Unity, which is the 2022 version, and get that out of the way. I will return to Final Fantasy 9 and 14 when I can, which should be Friday the week after next. Hopefully, I will do at least one of those. And that's really about it. I gotta say thank you to all of you who are subscribed. You're like a little crew to me. You've stuck by through the entirety of this, through my dry spells, through my ups and downs and everything. And I gotta say thank you. And even if you don't watch my content, or create a second channel or account, just to subscribe to me to help boost numbers, I appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and it will help me put out new content, knowing that I at least have an audience who wants to watch me and help support me. Because being able to make you all smile makes me smile. And maybe someday I'll be able to get a new microphone stand, so my microphone can be actually reasonably distanced from my face. But until then, thank you. And I really, really do hope that you all will support me in one way or another through the entirety of this. In some format. Even if it's just commenting a single text emoticon heart under every video I do. Liking every single video I do. Because if you do that, that'll make me happy. And it's a free thing you can do. You can just put on my video in the background. Or subscribe up until like April. As long as I can maintain 1,000 subscribers, I should be able to get monetization on this channel and help provide you better content. To those of you celebrating Christmas, Merry Christmas. Those of you who are celebrating other holidays, Happy Holidays. And for those of you who are not celebrating any holidays, have a great winter, have a great Yuletide, or whatever you are doing. Enjoy the Christmas event in Final Fantasy XIV. And sayonara. Au revoir. Arrivederci. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.